It's the base.
Minute Maid with the juice. A1 with the sauce. I'm out here making plays. I feel like Randy Moss. You go, boy.
Mm-hmm. Yo, where's the sauce out now?
Where's the sauce out now?
Speaking of IG names, I just checked my IG and my followers are lower than my following.
Okay.
How much lower? Is it like one lower, two lower?
It's equal, but it's enough for me to go into crisis mode and start unfollowing. I'm not jacking it. I can't do it.
Yo, wow. I do that. No, Fab's not alone there. Like I saw that the other day. I was like, yo, I follow way too many people. And then I was like, went on the unfollowing spree.
Gotta go.
And it's like mad people that like don't even post or.
Man, I forgot what it's like to be in high school. Thanks for reminding me.
Listen, man. It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
I can't be following people. What the fuck?
Nah, I can't be, yo. Optics.
You're like those people with like 1 million followers and like following 0.
You know like we call in America?
Like Lil Uzi Vert or like freaking
fucking losers. That's what losers do. You follow
Kim Kardashian.
I judge people who have mad followers and no following, bro. Automatically judged. And then I tell them
they're there to see what other people are doing instead of trying to make pretend like they're gonna be famous too.
Yeah, what do you call those people?
Call them ops. That's what you call them.
If you're so hell bent on following people and then you don't want no followers, something's wrong, bro. You just on Instagram just to see what other people are doing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Fab is spot on.
But I mean, that's what a lot of people are on Instagram for. Like people, they post it, but.
Don't show it. Just keep going and searching.
Just pretend like you're not doing something that you're doing.
Right.
Nah, this is great. Really, this is great. Social media advertising advice. Everybody.
This is amazing. What are you talking about?
No, it is. It is. Like,
this is the best.
You know, if you want to seem important, like don't follow anybody and have all the followers, of course.
Did anybody see Jerrod Carmichael's stand-up?
Absolutely not.
I saw what was posted on social media. Whole bunch of clips were posted on social media.
Fuck. So Jerrod Carmichael's a comedian. He had a show at one point in time and it got taken off the air. Mm-hmm. The show was interesting. But for his first 2 stand-ups, both on HBO, damn, I don't want to promote HBO either. Am I like blurry on y'all? Not y'all.
Nah, you're good.
I'm good. So I'm moving fast.
You're not blurry, you're choppy.
You are choppy.
Am I choppy on your
chopper style?
Chop. Come on, chop.
That's annoying. But anyway. So he has 2 specials prior to the one he just dropped, and the 2 specials prior to, he speaks on like relationships and Republicans and making money and Black history and stuff like that. But in this special that he just dropped, spoiler alert, he comes out as homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
And in his coming out, he just kind of gives space to the crowd to speak to him about his homosexuality and who accepts it, right? So his mother doesn't accept him for being homosexual. However, she accepts the father for cheating on him with multiple women. Cheating on her, sorry. So it's like the mother thinks that cheating is okay, but having a gay son isn't. So it's just very powerful. So I was talking to you about it earlier, DK. The biggest part of the comedy special is the interaction with the crowd, and I think that's going to shape and change a lot of comedy shows moving forward. If you're giving crowds more space to converse and talk to you about what's going on and what's not going on, so it's not super scripted. It's just the comedian's reactions.
Well, we talked about this kind of, after the, on the previous episode, with the whole Chris Rock and Will Smith thing, how. Why it was, and I spoke as somebody who is in that world of comedy. You know what I'm saying? It's like it happened, and I remember right after it happened, a whole bunch of comedians, particularly Black comedians, they went on live on Instagram that Ed Boy loves so much, Instagram Live, and basically voiced their concerns of that. Like this could easily set a precedent for because comedians deal with this already. They already deal with people rushing the stage. Like Arian Spears, who was on Mad TV. Dude's hilarious. Obviously, he's not like a
I remember him.
big. Yeah,
the Whitney Houston skits on Mad TV. That was hilarious.
Him with the Bill Cosby skits were my favorite. He was hilarious as Bill Cosby or Shaq or Mike Tyson. The guy's hilarious. Like he's not like a Kevin Hart stature or whatever, but like in the trenches, like freaking New York comedy scene, LA comedy scene, like he's been a fixture, for over a decade. You see what I'm saying? And I think he had an HBO special too, or one or two himself. But he mentioned that he's like, listen, I've had to deal with it. I've had dudes rush the stage. I had a ketchup bottle thrown in my face in Orlando. Like, he's like, if you don't garner some type of response from the crowd or whatnot, you're not really like, are you really even a comedian? You see what I'm saying? Like you deal with that. But to Fab's point, I think it's dope that the space is evolving in that matter, because to me that's more of a positive manner. That okay, people want to ask questions. The dialogue is open. It's not taking away from the performer up there, or him or her up there doing their craft or whatnot. But if they open it up for it to be interactive and for there to be a space for dialogue or whatnot, that's it's different, it's new, it's exciting, and it's interesting. So it's interesting how we saw both sides of the coin. The Jerrod Carmichael thing being a big, and he hosted SNL, like right after. And since he came out, I watched his opening monologue. He's all the way out, like mannerisms, the way he's dressed. Like he's like, all right, I can really be myself now. I don't have to like hide behind it anymore. I can wear a blazer with no shirt underneath and be my true self that I'm like behind closed doors. You see what I'm saying? I can be myself, as he like would intend to be. So, it's just, it's interesting. It's interesting. As I said.
Did y'all see that clip? I don't know if it was before or after of T.I. going on stage at some comedy show.
Oh yeah.
Right away from some comedian and shit like that. Because they were ripping. Yo, what were they ripping on him about? I guess they got accused of something.
Oh, go Fab, because I got a side of that, but I want to hear Fab's aspect of it.
I was gonna say, fuck the clip. I know somebody that was actually at the show.
At the Barclay show? You talking about the one in Atlanta or the Barclay show?
The Barclay show. So my coworker was at the show, and basically she explained that he was in the beginning. He came in with the energy of a comedian, and he was funny at first, but then he went into, which is very difficult, storytelling mode. Which is if you're not a really good storyteller as a comedian, you can't keep the crowd's attention. And he went far, and they were like, "Hey, what the fuck are you talking about?" So y'all like, "Whoa!" And they started booing him. And then he just had to kind of like walk off the stage because it's like, "Yo, this is not your field, bro." And then like the host of the show had to come out and start playing his music after. Like, yo, T.I., look at all the hits he made. This is T.I.'s hits. Like, yo, bro. This ain't your wheelhouse, like, or get more practice in it before you come out here and embarrass yourself.
Oh my god! No, I mean, I saw the whole video about the T.I. thing, but I'll just say generally, it's like just because you're talented in one art form and you have a name for yourself, you should know to respect it, right? Like, unless you're just like a one-hit wonder or you're lucky, you're not going to make it in any sort of entertainment industry and just suck. You know what I mean? Like, you need to have some sort of respect for it, and particularly comedy. Comedy is super difficult. So that's when you do open mics. That's when you open up for small shows. That's when you're doing the comedy circuit late at night. And it's like, you have to have that same sort of respect for it that you had for your music career. And it's like, I don't know. I just think there is a sense of entitlement. And I can imagine just being a comedian coming up, actually being funny, and then seeing like, why the fuck is this guy, headlining shows or like, being on stage with like Godfrey and stuff like why?
That's a great segue. That's a great segue because Godfrey actually got some heat for getting on T.I. a couple weeks ago. So this happened in New York, I believe. No, it's happened in Atlanta. Godfrey was headlining a couple sold out shows in Atlanta. And then I think on the last night he was there, T.I. shows up and Godfrey had already performed, but T.I. basically came up and was like, listen, let me go on after you real quick.
Time out. Hold on. Godfrey is the headliner.
He's the headliner.
Once you're the headliner, that's it.
That's it. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
They're coming to see Godfrey.
They're coming to see his name's on the marquee.
You could open up for him. You can do your little 5 minutes, whatever. Come and rap.
Yeah, exactly.
Just rap.
Kick a freestyle like before he comes on. You know what I mean? That would have been and Godfrey and his on his podcast, his co-host even, they went in on T.I. It's like, yo, bro, that is like tradition. And as a performer, you know better. So I'm saying, like, if T.I. is headlining, another rapper isn't gonna come on like, yo, T.I., let me go on after you real quick. You know what I mean? Get your set in or whatnot, and I'm gonna come after you. No, another rapper will be like, listen, bring me out during your set, or shoot, work something out. I'll open for you and get some of the gate money or whatnot. They'll work out something like that. But for him to basically bogard Godfrey's set or whatnot was trash, and a lot of comedians were upset about it. So when he went on and he was like doing, I think him getting booed in Brooklyn, that's not the first time he had gotten booed or got like radio silence from one of his gigs or whatnot. It happened to him again a couple months prior to that, and then Godfrey went right on Instagram. He's like, "See, this is what I'm talking about. This is that bullshit. Like you're T.I., you're that guy. You do a couple movies. You think that you could just hop in this arena? It's not like that." You know what I mean? Like, even seasoned cats like Chappelle and freaking Cat Williams and Kevin Hart and Godfrey and whoever, Mike Epps, my bad. They build I said Omar Epps like he's a comedian. They build their routine up. They'll do like 2 or 3 months of this small like nightclubs, small venues and then go shoot a special and then shop that to Netflix or HBO or Showtime or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There's a process or whatever. So, and I mean, T.I., he called in on Godfrey's podcast. They cleared it up. They squashed it or whatever. But still, him getting booed was heavy karma, in my opinion, and a slice of humble pie. Because, like, bro, you got to respect the process. And I really believe that slot even he got at Barclays, and that was a loaded lineup. Freaking, like, they had a lot of big names on there. Bruce, who's hilarious. Eddie Griffin was on there. Nick Cannon was on there. Like a lot of like quote unquote household names that have like in comedy, they were on that lineup. They were on that marquee. And I could have named about 50 other black comics that could have had T.I.'s spot, but T.I. got that spot, and Fab's people saw it firsthand. It didn't really go too well. And it was on Shade Room. It was all over the blogs. It was everywhere.
Going back to Edwin's point, that makes me think about like when J. Cole went to Africa to play basketball, and it's because you're J. Cole, you think you could just go play basketball with a team in another country. Like you got the spot automatically because you're a rapper. Like this is like
was he good?
No, he quit three games in, bro. Then he quit the whole basketball thing, bro.
He used to play at St. John's,
right?
And then I guess he thinks people in Africa are hungry, that he was just gonna go with bro. Like, what did he think he was gonna do? He's been rapping all this time.
He had a dollar and a dream, bro. I don't know.
Dollar and a dream. Yo, he's quoting the song. So we're done.
This shit is crazy. Like to enter another field. So go back to Michael Jordan in baseball, bro. Because unites in basketball don't mean unites in baseball, bro.
He was a great actor.
So yeah, Space Jam won an Oscar. Space Jam won an Oscar, so I don't know like what y'all talking about. Like the shade is just unnecessary.
Ken Griffey? No.
He looked like a really good baseball player in Space Jam.
Who did football and baseball and was really good at both?
Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson. I'm telling you,
Bo Jackson. Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders.
Bo Jackson. There's a few. Russell Wilson got drafted. There are a few guys. I think
Kyler Murray, who's with the Cardinals.
Kyler Murray. Yeah, Kyler Murray. Yeah, baseball and football kind of overlap a lot.
Close, right? Yeah.
A lot. I mean, because everyone's big as shit in both. People don't realize how big baseball players are. Like,
they're huge, bro. 6'8" and up.
They're massive.
Yeah, they're giants. Bro.
That's facts. Aaron Judge is like 6'8", 6'9". He can play football now.
Our boy, Will Smith got banned from the Oscars.
10 years.
10 years.
I mean, granted, there's probably people in the room who like probably should be in prison, maybe, depending on the various things that they've done. But I mean, this makes sense. I mean, the fuck, You smack the host. Like, what do you expect? Like, just at a very simple level, like you're lucky that security just didn't fucking yoke you up. But it's like, you know, you have all this privilege being a celebrity, you know, having all that money, that fame. It insulated you. Any other human being would have gotten not just thrown out, but maybe arrested. Like, you know, he's so fortunate.
You talk about the privilege. Go ahead, DK.
I was kind of disappointed. I felt like a lot of people were not like we're not thinking kind of like what we were about, like, bro, you shouldn't be putting your hands on other people. I was kind of surprised by or at least what the Google algorithm sold me. It felt like an overwhelming majority of opinions were like that he did the right thing. And I was just like, bro, no, he didn't.
Oh, Black Twitter was on fire.
Yeah, it was like a war. It was like everyone was on their respective sides.
Yeah.
And it's like,
there was a lot of that.
One thing that I mean, I get why it happened, but everyone was trying so hard to shoehorn their own political narrative. I said that last time, but everyone's like, oh yeah, you know, people are talking about race, people are talking about patriarchy, people are talking about all these things, and these are all side conversations to have, but you could tell whatever, you know, ideology a particular person subscribed to, they tried so hard to use that framework to explain exactly what happened. And in some cases, you know, it's, you know, there's a lot to unpack, but at its core, like he was a rich man who got up on stage and smacked a slightly less rich man and knew he could get away with it. And that's what happened. You know, people said it was emotional, of course, but just because something's emotional doesn't mean it's calculated, right? You could make a whole bunch of decisions in a matter of seconds. I believe he went up there knowing that he could smack this man and get away with it. He wouldn't have done it to someone who is his physical equal, who is his equal in fame. You know, it was a bully ass move, and he knew him being the host that he wasn't going to retaliate.
Facts.
It was crazy, man. There's so many apologetics like, oh yeah, don't say X if you don't want a response. And I'm like, we know that some people are quick to go to blows if you say something. We know that. You don't need to reiterate it. We're saying that the person who puts hands on them is wrong and should face consequences. It's like, I understand that when it comes to language, right? There's a lot to unpack as to like what is appropriate, what isn't appropriate. I don't necessarily think this falls into it because Chris Rock is not that serious. But we could talk about, you know, people using a combination of words that could be particularly inflammatory. And we could have discussions of where to draw the line, what people should say, what people shouldn't say. But I think a very, 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 very simple line we could draw. I don't know. I don't understand how this is even a little bit controversial. Is that you don't put hands on somebody. That's a very simple line to draw. And I don't know. I think a lot of people got in their feelings. I think a lot of people maybe put themselves in the position where maybe they've been insulted in the past and they felt like hitting the person. You're like, oh yeah, I understand why he did that. Okay, cool. We understand why he did it. He was still wrong. Like, you know, so I don't know. That's my thoughts on it.
Well, I
think that 10-year, I think considering what he did, that was a very softball, quote unquote, punishment. Like, you know.
Well, I got on my soapbox once. I was like, yo, I'm going to do one Facebook post on this, and I'm going to leave it there. I'll do all my talking here on the base show / base rundown.
You shouted us out too. I saw.
Of course I did. Of course. DK with the TikTok. And it's like, it really comes down to the way Hollywood works, especially with institutional racism. And I mentioned that on the previous episode. Like, it's one thing to be a celebrity. It's another to be a top tier celebrity. It's one thing to be a black celebrity, and it's another to be a black top tier celebrity. Because the way institutional racism works and the way Hollywood gatekeepers work, Will Smith is a black celebrity, top tier, in a room full of gatekeepers and peers and colleagues. And Hollywood can hit that pause button on that ass to anybody in black Hollywood. They could do it to Denzel. They could do it to Tyler Perry. They could do it to Oprah. They could do it to anybody. Director, actor, writer, DP, whatever. They could hit that pause button real quick. No one is free or absolved from it. So, and the proof is in the pudding. He had a Netflix movie and a Netflix deal, I believe, like for him to do a couple of Netflix projects. That's scrapped. That's scrapped. Bad Boys 4, they hit the pause button on that ass. A couple other projects, pause button. You know what I mean? That are going to be revisited to even if they happen or not. Who knows? They're up in limbo. So if Hollywood wants to hit the pause button, like I just mentioned, if they want to hit that pause button, they're going to hit the pause button. It doesn't matter what your stature is. Nobody is free or absolved from it. And people that want to make it a racial thing, oh, Harvey Weinstein, you know what I mean? What about him? He's got 100 Oscars or whatever. Like Harvey Weinstein's not black. He's not a black man. He doesn't have black parents. He might have freaking assaulted some black women, but he's not black. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, you cannot look at it through the same scope. And again, I mentioned this on a previous episode. There's a big reason why those tears came and why he was so inconsolable even before he got up and actually won and mid-speech, because he knows that, damn, I fucked up on a major level because I am top tier. I am on Denzel's level. Denzel's sitting right next to him. Tyler Perry is sitting right there. Jay-Z and Beyonce were right there. He's the top of the top, cream of the crop. See what I'm saying? And he made the culture look bad. And he's suffering the consequences for it. Am I saying he's going to be broke and file for bankruptcy tomorrow? No. But is he taking a massive hit right now? Yes. Yes, he's taking a major hit. That's undeniable. So that's a part that got, I feel like, lost in the sauce that Ed Boy mentioned. Like, yeah, he's taking plural, several L's right now. And you can't deny that. That's just facts.
Another angle that I didn't even consider when it first happened was like from Chris Rock's perspective, right? Because even from the show, as you know, if you watch the show, everybody hates Chris, right? He was bullied consistently, bullied and just allowed it. It's not like he was fighting back. His only way of fighting back was jokes. So now you're in a scenario in which he's technically bullied on stage in front of his kids, in front of his wife, in front of his family, and just got to take that out. Adding to the trauma that he's already been living through his entire life. Was Chris Rock like 60? And he uses his comedy. He uses comedy to triumph over you like that? His committee?
His committee.
He uses comedy. He uses comedy to triumph over that trauma of being bullied. And then to be slapped on stage is, I don't know, man.
That is something that no one talked about. Everyone was like, oh, it was just a slap. It was just a slap. It wasn't that big a deal. It's just a slap. And I think that's a good point that you brought up, because I brought it up in a conversation and they downplayed it. But I was like, no, like, you got slapped and that clip is going to live forever.
I heard DL Hughley mention that. He's like,
it's like
no matter what he does, you got slapped at Oscar.
Yeah, you and your family, everyone has to watch you get disrespected. Now, you could be a strong person and just be like, oh, whatever, it's not that big a deal. But I think that's a pretty unrealistic expectation to put on most people. I think that would bother most people, if not for yourself. For the fact that your family has to watch and endure, and it's not like it's not the worst thing in the world, right? But it could be pretty damaging, particularly if you've been bullied in the past. It's like, wow, it's like I could make it and this shit still can happen. Like there's always like a bigger person who could just come and slap me despite me, at least on paper, being in a position where I should never have to endure that again. That's That's really messed up.
According to the producer of the show, because he did an interview with Gayle King on Good Morning America. I still need to watch it in its entirety. But the producer of the show, for the first time ever, a black man, which adds to the foolishness of that evening, he sat down with Gayle King and he was just like, yeah, security, we asked Will to leave immediately after. Like, we were very like, yo, bro, you got to go. Like, that was uncalled for. And he just refused. He just refused. He was just like, yo, I'm not leaving. I'm Will Smith. Like, make me leave, basically. And then...
Oh, man, couldn't be me, because I'm like, all right.
Couldn't be me.
Like, all right.
The show, I'm like, security, get Will Smith's ass
security,
out.
What are security guards' names? Like Biff? It have to be some kind of...
I'm like...
Biff and Butch or something?
I'm like, take
him away,
out.
boys.
Take his ass out. Fuck. And then, and you met, like, Fab, you mentioned Chris Rock's standpoint. The police asked Chris Rock. They asked him, do you want to press charges? Because if so, we'll take his ass out right now. And Chris Rock was like, no, not going to press charges.
And that was classy. That was classy because that was grade A class because because I don't know how I'd react. I would like to think
I know how I'd react.
Like I would. I mean, I probably would have fought him, but like I would. Well, I don't even say that. I don't know. It depends. Like I might have just been like, what do I do?
I would have fell hard and I would have sued.
At minimum, I'd have had his ass.
Yeah, right. Imagine.
If you're gonna humiliate me, your ass is getting humiliated.
Yeah, imagine if Chris Rock says, so y'all just gonna let him stay, and then just left it there, didn't advance the show at all, and just stood there. That would have been hilarious because then it's like, wow. Well, balls in your court now. Like, what are you going to do about this?
It would have been crazy if he weaved the slap. So, like, does Will Smith follow up?
Weave?
Like, what do you do next? Like,
or if he would have followed with another joke. Like, wow, it's getting hot in here like August.
All right. Like, oh, my God.
Like, what are you going to do? Come back on the stage? And
man.
He actually catches himself. He's like, boy, like, he's getting ready to actually...
Like roast
him, and he's like, you know what? Nah, I couldn't.
Man,
man to me, man.
Yeah, he's super. The way he handled it, I have so much respect for him.
I do too.
That was just super classy because he could have gotten violent. He could have gotten petty. Right? He could have been like, all right, LAPD, yup, take him away. Like, even if nothing would have happened, just the embarrassment of him going in handcuffs would have been like, yeah, fuck you. Like,
could you imagine? I'm glad you said that. Could you imagine how big that story would be?
The tabloids would be insane of him in handcuffs.
Crazy, but Will Smith
and in tears?
Yes.
Simultaneously?
Will Smith arrested and escorted out of the Oscars.
With his Oscar.
With tears in his eyes.
Or before he gets escorted out, because it happened before. Like, what if it would have happened before and then he's announced as the winner and they're on stage like, who was it? The Pulp Fiction reunion? So it was John Travolta, Sam Jackson, and Uma Thurman. They're like, yeah, congrats to Will. He obviously couldn't be here this evening. We're going to accept this on his behalf.
Or Jada has to take it.
Or Jada has to come up to receive it. Yo.
Everyone would be like, damn, she does look like G.I. Jane. Shit. Like,
oh my God. Nah.
Man,
so shout out to Chris Rock, man. And this is still unfolding. Like, he's gonna address it at some point, but he's let it be known to several outlets that he's like, yo, until he gets paid, he's not talking about it.
What a class act. What a class act. Like, he didn't come out with like a special roast, like, because he could have, so many, if that would have happened to like other comedians, they would have been like, all right, my next special, I'm just roasting this dude. Like, it's just, I'm a host, like Comedy Central, we're going to do the roast of Will Smith and he's not invited. Yeah. Like, I'm going to have Jeff Ross cracking jokes on him and he's not there.
Or just create the Black Table Talk just because of it.
It'll just be a cardboard cutout of him and we're just roasting that.
Black Table Talk is jokes. His brother came out.
Couple of his brothers.
Yeah, but I only watched the Tony Rock one.
Okay.
And he was super upset. Like, he was like, yo, you smacked my brother?
I would be too.
Blah, blah, blah.
Like, you smacked somebody I know and you expect it to just, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I can't get over the fact that he would not have slapped other people.
No, he's not.
And I don't think people give that enough credit.
That's facts.
Like, I mean, obviously, I don't know. This is an alternative universe, but I just strongly believe that he would not have smacked someone who he thought was either his physical or his equal in stature. Like, that's
he's not smacking The Rock. He's not smacking Jason Momoa.
Nope. He's not even smacking someone. He's not smacking someone his size. He's not smacking Bruce.
He's not smacking Bruce Willis. How about that? Because I heard Bruce Willis. He's a Jersey guy. Bruce Willis is on site too. Like, don't get fooled by the Die Hard movies. Bruce Willis is really about that action. Like, he ain't smacking him either. So
no. If John McClane comes out, I'm not smacking John McClane. You crazy, bro?
Are you kidding me? Guy throws Russian oligarchs off the top of buildings. Like, you ain't.
Yo,
go ahead, Digga.
Did any new news come out on that shit that happened in Brooklyn?
Yeah. The shooting, they caught the suspect, or who they believe to be the suspect. The gentleman's name's Frank R. James. They actually caught him in the I believe in the Lower East Side or East Village. Yeah, they caught him in the East Village, and they received tipsters. You can always call, leave tips with, NYPD. Turns out the person who called them was him. He called himself in.
Wow.
So I'm reading. So the article, they got a tip Wednesday that he was in a McDonald's in Manhattan's, and this is from Associated Press, in Manhattan's East Village neighborhood. Chief of Department Kenneth Corey says the tipster was James, and he told authorities to come and get him. Two law enforcement officials said they weren't authorized to discuss the ongoing investigation and spoke on the condition of anonymity. So basically, 4 police cars pulled up. He wasn't at the McDonald's, but he was like down the street. And then he was compliant. He basically turned himself in. Without turning himself in, he basically turned himself in.
So he's a Riddler?
You said what?
He's the Riddler? Is that what you said?
He's moving like the Riddler? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, no,
yeah, he's at a coffee.
That's the anti-Riddler. That's the turn yourself inner. Like, whatever.
Turn yourself in.
But that's so interesting. So I'm looking at the article, and I was just reading this like not too long ago, and they were saying that he's had videos that were released complaining about mental health and how New York City treats like people with mental health issues, talking about Eric Adams, et cetera, et cetera. I need to read more about this, but that's what I found so far. I find it interesting too, because this happened, I think, between 25th and 36th Street, and I'm familiar with that area. That's in Sunset Park, Brooklyn. And I know there's a police precinct right there on 4th Avenue. And they had that whole area locked down. I find it interesting that he shows up in the East Village somehow. That's very interesting. But I guess more stuff will come out.
Yeah, he dipped off. I have friends and family that live in that area, and they were like, "Yo, that's my morning commute. Like, that's just crazy." And they were
that's busy.
Yeah, it's super busy.
And 36th Street is one stop away from Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah, at 8 a.m, it's like right before I'm going to work. Like, it's before my commute to work. So it's like, yeah, that shit was crazy, man. And then I don't know how I feel about the guy that's been outed, even though he, confessed himself. But it's like, this is a very interesting crime, interesting time, and interesting topic. All in one, bro. And I'm curious to see what else unravels in regard to this situation.
Yeah, apparently he threw smoke grenades and fired at least what they say 33 shots with a 9mm handgun. I don't think anyone's died, surprisingly, huh?
No, he just injured. How many people did he hit?
I think 10 people were shot.
With 33 shots? Man, he got aim. Huh? He got aim.
Oh, wow.
I mean, considering wow. But guy. I mean, I'm pretty sure that
Soldier Boy challenge.
Oh God. But it's very interesting. They're saying Let's see. Federal investigators determined that the gun used in the shooting was purchased by James at a pawn shop, a licensed firearm dealer in Columbus, Ohio area in 2011. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot to the story. He's in Philadelphia at one point. He's made videos. In one video posted a day before the attack, James, who was black, criticized crime against black people and says drastic action is needed. You got kids going in here now, taking machine guns and mowing down innocent people. Quote, James says, it's not going to get better until we make it better. He said, adding that he thought things would only change if certain people were stomped, kicked, and tortured out of their comfort zone. Interesting. In another video, he says, this nation was born in violence, is kept alive by violence or threat thereof, and is going to die a violent death. There's nothing going to stop that. I have a feeling there's going to be, expect Netflix and HBO documentaries in the coming months and years.
So, I mean,
this sounds like a very involved thing.
Do you have like a manifesto or something? Like,
it seems like there's like a series of videos that he has that isn't necessarily a manifesto, but kind of gives insight into what he believed and why he thought, or why he may have done what he's done. But I need to read more about it. There's like new information coming in, like pretty recently.
Well, I do want to say on behalf of the base, prayers up and all condolences to the family.
Yeah, man, that was sad. That was very sad. And just watching the videos, people were like texting me, the video, asking me if you're okay, and I wasn't too far away from that area at the time, and that same line is one that I would ride maybe at that time,
right?
But it's crazy. Somehow nobody perished, as far as I know. So that is incredible.
That's a blessing, man. Because that's as soon as I got the alert, like I'm pretty sure I got the text, the breaking news alert or whatever. I was like, yo, like I'm getting like it was a crowded subway. I'm guessing there's gonna be
I expected
a
whole bunch of people dead,
man. And to find out that nobody died from this is a blessing. It's of course it's terrible that who knows how extensive these injuries are, or if they're life altering, because a gunshot wound typically is at least way of life does change when you get shot. Depending on where. But nobody died from it, and that's praise be to God, man. That's a blessing. But this is unfortunate, and we've all ridden the subways. That's the crazy part. So it's like
that New York staple.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So it's wild. When I heard it, I'm just like, yo, like I was like, it happened on the R, right? The R line.
End of the R line, one of those.
Yeah,
but they run, one's local, one's express. But,
it's like I've run both of those, so it's like could happen to any of us. So
and it was crazy that day. I was walking around because I was in a nearby neighborhood, so not too far away. And I was walking around, and it's like it's so interesting how in other places when something happens, everything grinds to a halt. But like I was walking around, and it's like you would have never known anything had happened. And I walked home that day. It's like nothing happened. People are at bars as usual. People are just living their life. And I was like, that's just really interesting. I don't really have a point. I just thought that was just kind of surreal that there's no punchline, but that's just interesting. It's weird.
I mean, I would like give a check for awareness and just like tell everybody to maintain and manage through something like this. But even with awareness, you can't do anything with a closed train, and the doors is closed.
Yeah. Once it's closed, it's a wrap. Like,
but still, prayers up, man.
Yeah, man.
Prayers up. I'm trying to think about a way to end this on a happy note without it being so sad.
I got a happy note. I got a happy note.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Ed Boy for showing up for Juice versus Sauce. He's in his first rap video.
That's selfish.
Yo, thank you for letting me destroy your video. It was fantastic.
Oh my god! How do you destroy it?
It was fantastic.
There's no way.
That's why doing the hunt motion is all I need.
No, literally, with my broken finger, and it's still broken. I just don't have the thing on. I can't straighten it. But I was literally like, just.
You don't even hump like that. You don't hump like that in real life. Why'd you do it in a music video?
Bro, you don't know what I do.
How you know?
How would you know?
How you know?
15,000 and climbing. The goal is to hit 100,000, just like Joe.
That's crazy. It came out. 15. That's crazy.
15,000. I don't even know 15,000 people. I don't even do 15,000 things. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, we getting there, and of course we have bass gear. How about that? We got bass gear in a music video with 15,000 already.
Yes, we do.
It's a win.
Make a song called "The Bass," bro.
And put it.
Even Levi wants that.
No, but Levi was like, "Oh god."
He's like, "Oh no, DK, I'm not done."
How about the four of us show up in the next video? I'm already thinking about filming. It'll be in May, and it's gonna be in New York.
Is it called The Bass?
No, it's called 5-Star Dancer. It's an Afrobeat song, but you guys should show up.
It's called 5-Star Dancers and it's Afrobeats.
Afrobeats.
That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah. He's like, I'm there.
All right, so the bass is going to be present and accounted for in the next video. Go get Juice versus Sauce. Stream it. Watch the video. We're at 15K. Let's hit 100K. Izoku, Juice versus Sauce, whatever. Nice shot. Again, man.
Yeah, oh girl, I love the way she do it. She get low like it's nothing really to it. She pick it up and she spin it back around and she get it from my mama. Damn, I knew it. Izoku. Nice job, boy. Ibu Kwenu, yeah, that's true. She move her hips so proper. Yeah, and she look like Rihanna.